The sound test room.
Hello and welcome to the Sound Test Room. My name is Jakob. I'm your host and you're watching a haQ episode. In this episode we're gonna pick up where we left off in episode 87, where I was using Nave to create a pad. If you're new to Nave, new to synthesizers, I suggest that you actually go watch my earlier tutorial and make the patch, save it, and then come back to watch this one and keep on working with the pad. We're gonna use some modulation to add some more texture to our already really nice sounding pad. And just to remind you what it sounded like. It sounds really good, but we can make it more rich and add more texture and movement using modulation. What we're going to do today is we're going to add the regular oscillator, but we're not going to add like a normal waveform like square wave or triangle or anything like that. We're going to add and introduce some white noise. So first we are going to pull down the volume for the wave shaper, and now I'm pulling up the regular oscillator. So that's what we want right there. Here is where you control the regular oscillator, and I'm gonna get into the other controls at later tutorials. But right now we need some white noise, and we have that. I want the white noise to jump in randomly at different volumes. The best way to do that, well, the best way I find to do that is to use an LFO with a random wave generator and controlling the mixer output of the oscillator. So it's basically what we're going to do. We're going to use the LFO to do this. And to do that, we go to the modulation matrix right there, mod and keys. And you have the modulation matrix right here. You actually have access to more lines if you slide using the slider on the right here. But we only need one line today. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose in source. First, we're going to turn it on, and in source use LFO1. And LFO1 is situated right there. All right. So close it up, and then to the destination, it's going to be the mixer for the oscillator. So scroll down and you have the osc mix right there. Right now it's still not doing anything because we haven't really told the LFO to control the mixer, but we can do that by setting a value. So we're going to up the value, and I'm going to exaggerate it so you can hear what it does before we actually fine tune it to make it into what we would want in a pad. So I'm going to put it up here around 69, 70, and then I am going to pull up the rate for the LFO, and to actually hear the LFO work, I'm going to choose the square wave because that's basically an off or on signal. Max value, minimum value, max value, minimum value. So you'll hear the oscillation going on. What I'm going to do now is to choose the random waveform generator, and that's this one right there. And we're going to listen to this. That is quite loud, and I don't want that. So we're going to pull down the value of how much the oscillator mix volume is being affected by the LFO by sliding this one down. You can actually make it work in reverse, and you'll get a minus right there if you pull it down. But we're gonna stay above the plus and just affect it just a little bit, like 20 or so. And then I'm gonna limit the maximum output of the oscillator mix. So I'm gonna limit it by pulling it even further down. Alright, that's what I want, but I want the modulation to go a little bit quicker, so I'm gonna up the rate a little bit. Now we go back to the main window where we have the wave shapers and oscillator controls. And we're gonna pull up the wave shaper, and the original value was 80, I think. So let's listen to our pad now. As you can hear, it's quite easy adding a little bit of extra texture to your pad, and right now we're only using one line inside the modulation matrix. Now imagine what you can do with the rest of all of this stuff here. And it doesn't really stop there, because then you actually have the envelopes to work with and the filter. So we've got loads of stuff to do. We're even gonna add another wave shaper, but that will happen in the next episode, maybe. If you want more tutorials, tell me in the description and I'll make them. As long as you want them, I'll make them just for you. As usual, Doug Woods, Colin Sweeney, and me, Jakob at thesoundtwistroom.com wishes you a very productive week. Now go finger your surfaces and have lots of fun doing it.